West Michigan. This is Grand Tap Media, Breathing the Grand Show. My name is Pamela Keim, your host. The spirit of the show is to introduce West Michigan to their neighbors. And boy, do I have a very special neighbor for you to meet today. You might have seen her either on TV or maybe on social media that we all spend lots of time on. But she is a true warrior of the fight to find a cure for breast cancer, which many of us have had either family members or friends that are suffering or maybe even lost their lives to breast cancer. She has more than 600 of your neighbors that are helping her with this mission, and they have raised over $500,000. I want to introduce you to your neighbor, and I want to introduce you to your West Michigan neighbor, Pat Ringnalda from Be Brave. Welcome to the show, Pat.
Thank you, Pamela.
All right, the spirit of the show is we're just going to tap right into it like we're neighbors.
Okay,
right?
Great.
So I want to start off with, you've been doing, I didn't say that in the introduction, but you've been doing this for 12 years now.
This is our 12th year, yes.
Now I want to share with us and your neighbors how you got involved with this and what you want them to know about this and this mission. I know there's a lot I want to know about it because I've heard a lot about you through my circle of friends.
Great.
And when they say when I was looking for guests for my show, they're like, you have to interview Pat. She's just amazing. And you have an upcoming event you want to share with somebody too.
Yes.
So let's tap in and where this all started and how you got involved with this. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Well, actually, you know, sometimes this is what I truly believe. I believe you can be in a situation and God taps you on the shoulder and says, you know what? I think you should do something like this. So I happen to have been involved with Mary Kay Cosmetics for 36 years, my career. And I was at a seminar, and we have a Mary Kay Foundation that raise money for two reasons for women: domestic violence and cancers that affect women. So at this particular seminar, I thought, you know what? I had been a fundraiser all through the years my kids were in school. I enjoy it. Not everybody does.
Right. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
You
but
know?
I feel that's one of my gifts. And that's what I always say to women, that if sometimes you don't know you've got a particular gift.
Right.
But when God taps you on the shoulder, I would say you better listen. And I listened. So that was in 2008. And our first race was 2008. So my shoulder tap was in 2007, and I started beginning this with the intention of doing it for 1 year.
Really?
And now we are in our 12th year.
Well, you've been very successful, and you said even your first race, when we were sharing a little bit before we started the show, had over 400 people come out and participate.
Yeah.
That is
amazing.
Unheard of,
that was
right?
Crazy. That was
Your son was telling you you'd be lucky to get 50, Mom.
Yep, absolutely. And I guess I proved that wrong.
Exactly.
And it's such a great cause, and it touches so many lives, because anyone that has dealt with breast cancer knows that it's not just the woman that's being affected here.
Right.
It's the entire family, and in our case, it's become a community thing.
It is. And you're part of the, so you've been, and then you're also now you're partnering with raising money for the Andel Institute.
Yes, what a blessing.
So you're kind of close to the research and stuff that's happening, right?
In fact, let me just talk about this. This Andel Institute is an incredible organization. I look at it as a pearl here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I don't know if everybody knows just how amazing they are, but let me give you a little piece of how amazing they are. So just last week, Wednesday, actually, every year prior to race day, we hold what we call a lunch and learn.
Yep.
And so that means the Andel Institute, we're invited there, and the top research scientists for breast cancer come and present us with the latest and the greatest in what they're discovering.
Should we be excited?
You should be very excited.
Okay.
And very hopeful.
Okay.
Very hopeful. And because we have brought, last year, our money alone to Andel was over $90,000.
Wow.
So because we send them such a huge chunk, and 100% of the money we raise, 100% goes to Andel, and they use 100%. So every single penny that we raise, they use every single penny of. Well, when they get a big chunk like 90,000, they actually showed us and I couldn't even tell you what the machines
right.
were, but two amazing machines that scientists would be giddy about. One was a microscope, another was something else that sorted cells.
That's always exciting.
But then the bigger deal was we're actually paying the salary of one of the new research scientists that they could bring on board because of what we brought in.
Oh my, it's amazing how,
It's amazing.
how you like I said, this is why I started the show.
Yes.
It's just meeting all these people
Yeah.
that are impacting the lives beyond
Yeah.
West Michigan. I know the Andel Institute it does that. But to walk in and say that you were instrumental
Yes.
in helping them get some equipment or hiring somebody.
Yes.
And you know,
It's
running
incredible.
you have what, all volunteers.
All volunteers. And honestly, I've got charter volunteers that have done this with me. And I've kiddingly said that there's a price to having a friendship with me because I'm going to ask you to do something.
I know.
But, you know, I think
What is your charter volunteer? What does that mean?
they've done it since the beginning.
Okay.
Because
I see what you're
since the
saying.
very
Okay.
beginning, they
Right.
have been. And honestly, they do what they do so well. I couldn't even tell them one thing to do because they've done it for 11 years.
That's very helpful.
It's very helpful. So here's the thing every person who's going to plan something should do is surround yourself with great people.
I know.
And
it's so
my
true.
co-chair, Chris Bartnick, who is not here today, is one of those amazing people. And I don't know if we can quite finish each other's sentences yet, but we are on the same page with the same passion, and she's an amazing woman. So you know what? You surround yourself with these brilliant people.
Right.
But let me talk about these people here a
Yes,
minute.
please
Because
do. Good.
the reason we can give 100% is because part of my job, starting in April of the year of the race, is to go out and find these sponsors who will, you know, give at different levels to help us underwrite the cost. Because putting a good race on, what would you guess that would cost?
I'm afraid to ask. But I probably what, 10,000?
Well, you're not. That's not bad. It's about $14,000.
Okay. I was
So
gonna say.
these sponsors right here, and this is last year's shirt actually, help. They underwrite the cost so that every single penny, even the registration, which is truly unusual. And this is what I say to people. You know, when you support a cause, be aware of how much of that money actually goes to the cause.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask that question because I think you would be quite surprised.
Well, there is. Well, you know the cost of you know, putting on these events.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yes.
We're
That's-
putting we're doing the Grand Castle Library
Yes,
debut.
yes.
But we're going to be raising money for local libraries.
Okay.
Right. So I am trying to ask all of the local vendors. I'm trying to give local vendors the opportunity to underwrite some of this. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I can get this one covered, if I can get this, you know, if they can
Exactly.
provide these
Absolutely.
services, I don't have to
Absolutely.
take it out of
Yes, out of funds.
out of funds you can
Yeah.
give to the library, but you still, I mean, we have to pay for a photographer, and you had all volunteers, so you had
But
some other,
all of that money is covered by sponsor money.
right, which is so
It's amazing.
wonderful. And then they're allowed, then they bring their staff or whatever, so the mission kind of grows, right?
Yes.
They go on that
Yep.
one.
Yep.
And so, okay, so now that you are been into your 12th year,
Yes.
and what are some of the women, you must go to your race, and they just tell you heart-wrenching
Okay,
stories, because I
yes.
was shared mine with you on something in my
yes.
family.
And I think, again, as we were talking before filming, there is a real unique feel to our race. And let me just tell you why you may want to be there.
Okay.
First and foremost, we get, I don't know, again, all community involved, but we probably have 60 to 80 high school kids from South Christian that get up early in the morning, and there are welcoming cheerleaders as you're driving into the event.
Yep, you want that.
So you are not awake yet, and you've got kids with cowbells or bullhorns, signs welcoming you into the race.
Right.
Then, you know, your pre-race stuff. We've got great music, great announcer, all this wonderful stuff on a beautiful venue at Shagbark Farms.
Okay.
Off Alaska Avenue. And then our program that day is actually, I invite all the women who choose to come forward to introduce themselves and when they were diagnosed with breast cancer. And then we have what we call a featured fighter. So that
Yeah, I saw that.
featured fighter has been someone that's been diagnosed in this past year who shares her story. And that's the emotional piece of this that is unique to any race out there. So the people that come support this are usually the community, the families, the friends of these breast cancer survivors.
Right.
So it's very family friendly, but that emotional piece, when you hear these stories, are incredible.
Well, have you, and I had to ask if you lost people that started in 12 years ago that are no longer with us due to they lost their fight against Grant's cancer.
But on the flip side, because there is not a cure yet, but every day that goes by, something new is discovered that can either save your life, prevent it from metastasizing, slow it down. So be aware that there's research going on every single day. And some of these researchers at Van Andel work 4 to 5 years in undergrad on what one cell is doing. It's the craziest thing. How they can sit there and look at one cell and try to figure out what that one cell is doing is incredible, but their minds work in such a different way. I can't imagine.
Well, they say these cells have intelligence, major intelligence. And when you get to scientists, I do a lot of, not research, but I listen to a lot of science, because I'm fascinated by it too. It's like, your cells have intelligence.
Yeah.
And then we want to tap into that, and it can fight for you or fight against you.
Yes,
we're trying to figure out why it's fighting against you.
Yes.
And
what foods that you eat and what blah, blah, blah.
And what do you do? When you say, with the American diet is kind of not the greatest because we have such access. I always tell people we have such access to great food, and we also have access to abundance.
Yeah.
Right. And so we like to be creative in what we're doing.
I will tell you with that point that this top researcher that spoke to us last week said, because again, what foods are we eating? What's the environment? What are all these different pieces? And believe you me, they look at metabolism. They're looking at your immune system, what we eat, what we drink, all of that. But she said the number one thing I can tell you that makes a huge difference is exercise. That's why you need to come to the race.
That's a good idea. I've heard that more and more.
Yes, exercise. I mean, she said
just
that
running.
is the best prevention for these cancers. Just stay healthy. Try to ward it off, because we all have these cancers in our body, and there's different things that trigger for that cell to go haywire.
Right.
So if you stay healthy,
that's women being diagnosed, right? Before in the day, years ago, it was women over 60 was the threat.
Yeah.
My sister, like I wanted to share, my sister was diagnosed at 35.
Yes.
And she didn't have to lose a breast, but she had to go through the chemo and whatever. She lost her hair. It was difficult. Now she thinks she's 25 years. But I did have probably about 4 years ago a college friend of mine that lost her. She was diagnosed in her 40s and she was gone within probably 3 years, 3 or 4 years, and left a young family, whatever. But what are they saying? Why these women are being diagnosed at 35? You didn't have to worry about it at 35, but now you do.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I certainly can't answer to that, but I do think the awareness of it is what is, and again, if there's family history, and that right there would say, if you're a young woman and you've got family history, I would demand the more high intensity, mammogram, the 3D mammogram. Fight for be your own best advocate. If you believe it, know your body.
Okay.
If there's a change, if there's anything that changes, do not just brush it off. Don't listen to your doctor saying, oh, it's probably nothing. If you think it's something, go seek another opinion to find out what that is. So I think just awareness across the board.
Okay. And do you work closely to, those places that just show up at businesses and they just want women to go through the
mammogram?
Right. Yeah, they're going around.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you guys do?
We've never been a part of any of that. But hey, if you've got a mobile unit near you and you can do it, and then let me go back to this mammogram thing. So a lot of people will say, well, my insurance won't cover the specialized one,
Right.
then pay the difference. I mean, this is your life. This is your life. If you think there's a chance, or you notice a difference, or you've got family history, do what's right for you and get the proper testing, because the sooner you detect it, the sooner. We had another member of our Be Brave team, our chairman, Sharon Rearick of the golf outing. She was diagnosed super early, and she knew something was not right.
What was some of her symptoms? Did she share?
Well, they looked at a mammogram,
Okay.
and I think it was a regular mammogram, and they saw something, so they took another picture. They didn't see anything. And her mother passed away of breast cancer, so she's got the family history there.
Oh, yeah.
So that didn't set well with her. So then she said, I want more done. So she went in for a third one, and they found a tiny little lump that you wouldn't even have seen had she not kept pursuing it.
Right.
Well, she ended up only having to have a lumpectomy and no treatment.
Really?
Yeah. Because they caught it so early.
Wow. Okay.
And I mean, she's just a walking miracle. She's a poster child of early detection.
right.
So yeah, I just think, again, there's amazing opportunities out there to be safe.
Right. But my sister Carol that got it at 35, she had the testing and it wasn't, they don't know why she got it. It wasn't a G, it wasn't, they didn't.
Right.
So is that kind
And that's where my friend Sharon, even though her mother passed of it, Sharon did not have the BRCA gene, but yet she got it.
okay.
So that is not, foolproof, something that you will or won't get it.
Right. But aren't people making decisions? I'm really kind of freaking out by that because I told you before we even started, I have a friend of mine, she's only 30, and they found she has the gene. And so now she is deciding, she's not even married and had children, deciding to remove her breast in a whole hysterectomy. And I'm looking at her going, oh my goodness. But are there women making these decisions
Yeah,
at this
there are.
age? And
that's, again, that's a personal decision.
Right.
Actually, I'd like to talk to you about her, because I would send her down and have her meet with some of these scientists downtown.
okay,
And
Right.
I mean, I could get her in there
exactly.
to talk to them. Just from a research standpoint, which is different from an emotional standpoint, because, yeah, I mean, you say it's freaking me out a little bit because, yeah, it's in your family. I get that.
I get that.
So I think the more you research something, the more you'll come to peace with what the right thing for you is.
Yeah, that's what
I
you've
do.
experienced on that one? Okay. To me, it's like every time I get a mammogram, which I got a notice in the mail, I have to get my yearly mammogram. Every time I do now, it's just because of my age too.
Right.
I'm just
A little bit
biting
of a panic attack.
nails.
Sure, I understand.
Do you understand
I
that?
totally understand.
And then finding out if I do have the gene, I mean, to go, okay, how about if I just live a good 10 years?
Yeah,
20
well,
years,
yeah.
a great life.
Right.
You know, I mean, these are decisions that all
I
of us
know.
have to make, or I have to go through this procedure that kind of, I'm not very good. That's kind of freaking me out. I mean, and you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
To
I
make
do.
those kind of decisions, and people do it all the time. We see famous people doing it. Angela Jolie.
Yeah.
I think she was very brave
Yes.
on do that. She had a lot young
And
family.
so in the public eye.
Right.
Yeah.
And beautiful. And you're like, oh my God, I would have never been able to
Yeah.
do that. And to make that decision, I think it gave a lot of people courage
Sure.
and stuff like that. So you see a lot of people that give their testimony that
Yep.
they have done that
Yep.
and lived on that. I know they can do so much with
Yes.
reconstruction surgery now. But I guess as a woman, that's our biggest fear. I mean, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And share with us here a little bit about what you have this race coming up. And where
Yeah.
did you get the name? I understand
Oh.
Be Brave, but it's Bee, like
yes.
a bee. Can you share a little bit about that?
I sure can.
Okay.
This goes back to the Mary Kay world.
Okay.
Because when Mary Kay Ash started her company 56 years ago,
Okay.
she used the symbol of the bumblebee. And the
Oh.
bumblebee aerodynamically should not be able to fly because the body is bigger than the wings, because those wings are those little veil, almost like
yeah.
lacy
Okay.
wings.
I see that.
And the body is heavier. But nobody told the bee it can't fly.
Very good.
So it flies. So that's kind of the Mary Kay symbol. So when I was thinking of what to do with this, I thought, okay, well, we're going to use the bee. And then brave is just, you know, a perfect word for all these women that are fighting this disease.
Right.
So that's where Be Brave started. So this year, we have actually added a kids' fun run.
I saw that.
Yes, for ages 5 to 13. Because it's such a family-oriented event, a lot of parents push their kids, or their kids walk or run the main event.
Okay.
I started the kids' fun run for those kids. Well, there's so much on kids' health now and girls on the run and that type of thing. So I just thought, you know what, let's try it this year. Now, you would be also interested to know that Hudsonville High School sent their National Honor Society, and this breaks my heart to say this, for every year, Rochelle Goosen from your staff here at Hudsonville High School would bus her National Honor Society kids to our event because they have a chapter project or something that they are required to do.
Nice.
So this allowed those kids to check the box of doing their chapter project by doing this charity event.
Right.
So Rochelle told me that you won't be back, the kids here from Hudsonville.
Aww.
And that makes me so sad.
I bet. It's a lot of kids, right?
That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids. They were, and they brought such great energy. But anyway, back to race day.
Okay.
So the race actually starts at 9 o'clock. It's $25, and you get these amazing shirts. Now, people sign up for our race because of our shirt, because just feel that. It feels like silk.
Yeah, it does.
And it washes beautifully.
I know this lady. You know her.
Race starts at 9. It's $25 for adults, $17 for kids 17 under, and then the kids' fun run is $15.
Okay.
The kids' fun run starts at 10 o'clock. They'll run a couple loops within the field of Shagbark Farms and finish going across the same finish line. Most runners and walkers should be done by 10, so the kids' fun run won't affect that.
Interfere with that, right?
Then we have the unique group of fundraisers that we call our Team Buzz Warriors.
Okay.
So that would mean, for example, you've got a connection with breast cancer, you are an advocate for breast cancer research and that type of thing. You would maybe sign up for our race and say, I want to be a Team Buzz Warrior, which means you're forming a team and you're going to invite people to join your team. So when they register, either to participate, they look for Pamela's,
name or the name of our team?
Whatever you name it.
Okay.
Mine's Pat's Posse. Let's just say you call it Pamela's Pack of whatever.
Grand Team.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Grand Tap Team.
Yep, Grand Tap.
Okay, so they go on there and search for the Grand Tap Team. They can sign up under you. Their registration and any donations that they give go to your team goal to raise $1,000.
Okay.
When you raise $1,000 as that team leader, this is last year's Team Buzz jacket, and you're presented that on race day.
On race day.
Yep.
Wow, that's cute.
So that is what that is. And if we have the unique thing too, if you were forming a team or whatever, you could sign up as a virtual participant. And what that means is your team captain would get your shirt, because you would get a shirt as a virtual person, but you might be in Texas that day.
Okay.
And you might choose to walk in Texas, or you may not walk in Texas. You don't have to, but virtually you're supporting the event.
Oh, you're doing it, you're walking in a different area.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a group of people that do that.
All right.
And then we have awards.
Look at these. Man, this is
So
nice.
in each age group, starting at it goes 17 and under, and then 18 to 24, 25 to 29, et cetera, 5-year increments going up to 60.
Okay.
We have medals for the first top 3 in each age group.
Wow. Okay.
Then the first place person in each age group either gets a mug like this, or we've got some pub glasses with Be Brave on it too.
Sure.
So those are kind of our rewards.
These are really nice.
Yeah.
Right.
And then our top 2 people, male and female, get a $100 Visa gift card that they can spend anywhere.
Wow. This is probably one of your bigger costs, right? Because this is very nice.
This is one of our, whoops, pulling on my mic. This is one of our bigger, but honestly, our shirts are fairly expensive too because they're so nice. But this is an expensive, but they've raised $1,000. That's worth it to us.
Well, absolutely.
To spend $80 on them for a jacket.
Right.
And again, that cost is all covered by our sponsors.
And how How are people? I mean, when you wear this thing, because I know you do, and then what's people's really?
You know,
they know
people
they see
ask.
the pink.
Yep,
And what's Be Brave?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of?
And with that, last night actually, my husband and I spent about an hour and a half putting out bee signs. I didn't bring one, but it's a
Oh.
bumblebee
Okay.
with our bebrave.com website on it.
Right.
So it's branding our event.
Sure.
And the people in the community, when they see the yard signs, they know, well, the race is coming up.
Yeah,
That
really?
race is coming up.
Okay.
So we have branded it pretty well within our community. So Caledonia is going to start seeing all these signs around.
Signs.
But back to this,
Okay.
it's people, yes, I have strangers that will come up and say, okay, so what's your history with breast cancer? And then I'll say, well, I organized this event, and then I'll hear their story. Because people that see this and recognize it might need somebody to just talk to.
Listen, yeah.
So it introduces me to people that I would never, otherwise know. Just have a great day.
Yeah.
You should really come to it, Pamela. You really should.
Have you been making the circuits on that?
That's just starting.
Okay. Are you on the? Have you been on the Shelley Irwin show?
I have done that in the past. Well, we did it last year actually.
Okay.
And what Van Andel calls it, which again, Van Andel gets us into places that
Sure.
I could never get myself into, because who am I? I mean, they don't care. But Van Andel,
Right.
when Van Andel comes in and says, hey, we've got a segment here that we'd like to be featured. So we are on the Town Square media stations right now.
Okay.
The media drop, as they call it, went out yesterday to the advisory board, so I will probably be hearing in the next couple days where else. And then because of our great sponsor right here, CareLink,
Yes.
they have a partnership with Jordan Carson from
Yes.
Wood TV 8.
Oh, she's on social media.
And I got an invitation to go on 9 West or 8
8
West.
Yep. That's good.
So that's a first.
Right.
We've been on Channel 17 before.
Okay.
I've not been on the other. So anyway, hey, I'll take whatever I can get, because the mission is to get more people aware, number one, of breast
Sure.
cancer.
Sure.
And number two, what Van Andel Institute does for us. And number three, what Be Brave, how that partners with both of those top two things. So as a community, go donate.
Yeah, donate. Go. Where do they find information
Okay.
on this? So you can
Good
share
question.
that. Good question.
It's our website is www.bebrave.com, right here, bebrave.com.
Okay.
And you can go there, you can register, you can donate, and if you have no affiliation with anyone, I don't know where the camera is, but if you have no affiliation with anyone, look for Pat's Posse, because you can join my team. And so anyway, that's where they would go to register. And I think in our Facebook page, we have a great Facebook page.
I've seen that.
And we've got in fact, our spokesperson from last year did an amazing job. Her video was on there. So I think you would feel the spirit of our event by doing a little research on our Facebook page, which is Be Brave 5K Run Walk.
Okay.
So go like us on Facebook.
Exactly.
Hey, we got the cheers going on. I mean, you will be well supported and well loved.
And are you still accepting sponsors for your
Yes.
event? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you want to go to your employer, or maybe you
Yes.
wanted to get behind this
Yep,
mission,
absolutely.
please, you are able to still do sponsorships, and that
Yes.
all goes to the Van Andel
Yes.
Institute, which is Pat is a warrior of finding the cure for breast cancer.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap
you.
this up. Thank you so
Thank you
much
again.
once again.
Yep.
And we'll see you next year. So this is Pamela Keim from Grand Tap Media, Breathe in the Grand Show, and we will see you next time. Have a great day. Take care.